Pro-Life Radio is a pre-recorded program paid for by Pro-Life Radio.
Preserving the sanctity of life in Florida. A loud voice for the unborn. This is Pro-Life Radio with your hosts, Vicki and Bruce Cherry.
And welcome to another edition of Pro-Life Radio on a Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Kicking off summer.
Have a blessed memorial, I guess, is the right way. Not happy, because it's not a happy thought, that Memorial Day, but it's definitely a very much important day to remember those that fought and died for
this country. Yeah. And we have one who served proudly our country, who's been a guest on our show before, who has an abortion story to share. And we'll get to her in just a second. Mm-hmm. We start off everything with Jeremiah 1:5 and prayer.
Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations.
Heavenly Father, we come to you once again and ask for your blessing upon this radio show, this ministry, and all who hear this show, and our guests, our producer. God, thank you. Thank you for them. We pray for your blessings upon them. We pray that we be fruitful in changing hearts and minds, in sharing truth. And if there's somebody out there, just one person out there that might be thinking about having an abortion, that we can change their mind, that we save that unborn baby, and that person helps to change hearts and minds as well. God, we ask for your blessing tonight and always. As we go forward, we thank you and praise you. In the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
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 And we have in the studio tonight a great guest, a great friend of ours, a member of Liberty Church, also a participant and member of our Bible study.
And our life team.
And our life team for Pro-Life Radio. And Kathy McGinnis.
And she's a really good cook, too.
And she is a very good cook. And
so
she noticed, she said, yes.
If you want to come to a great Bible study and have an awesome meal, Kathy always has something just incredible.
She does.
I experiment on you.
Uh-oh.
Not really, but.
And Kathy is a captain, a former captain of the United States Army. And you come from a long line of military royalty, so to speak.
Yeah.
And an advancing line.
Yes.
You have a grandson that's...
Yes, I have.
A West Point graduate, so he's now an officer.
Right, and he's stationed at Fort Bliss. And he's with the Armor Division. That's what Fort Bliss is. Mm-hmm. And he's due to go overseas to Poland with his tanks. Mm-hmm. And he said that that it's been... called a speed bump for Russia.
Oh, okay.
To keep Russia at bay.
Keep them honest.
Yes.
Like producer Dave said. What was it you said earlier, Dave?
Oh, something to the effect of, glowers ominously at Russia.
Yes, right.
Just let them know. Yeah. We got eyes on you.
Yeah,
all.
We're watching you. We're watching you. There you go.
Yeah.
So
we think he's going to be okay.
Now, you were Army, a captain.
Right. My dad. His dad and his dad's dad, and it dates back to Revolutionary times, actually. We have, I forget his name, my son knows all this. He's done all this research on our family. We knew some of it, but I remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, my dad would talk about the swamp fox, that somehow we were involved with swamp fox. Well, it turns out we have an ancestor. I don't know if it was an uncle or what, but he trained the swamp fox. And so when the British took our ancestor prisoner out on the sea on their ship, the swamp fox made sure that they freed him and rescued him. So that's how much they respected him. So it started pretty early. And so when I joined the Army, I was 40, and there was not a plan for a career because of my age. And so, you sign well, you acknowledge that you would not be eligible for retirement, which is fine with me. I just wanted to serve my country. I had no idea we were going to be called up for Desert Storm. It was a year.
Surprise!
It was a year later that I was, and I had just gotten married too. I was
like a month, right? You got called out a month after
when we went on our honeymoon. We were headed up I-4, and all these Army
military vehicles.
Military vehicles.
Convoy.
We're all a different color for the first time, sandy colored. It's like, what's going on? So we get to our hotel, and the news is telling us all about our,
we're
desert,
going to war.
Desert. Well, they didn't say Desert Shield at that point, but that's what we were called up for initially, and then became Desert Storm. And our unit was, we were sent out to all the medical centers because I'm still a nurse, but I was an Army nurse, and I was stationed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma for, so I was called up for essentially 11 months. So that's why I'm a veteran now.
Wow.
So that was the first time that the reservists were used like they were.
See, my mom also went into the Army late in life. My father and mother both were in the Army, but my mom went in the Army like 15 years after my dad got out.
Oh.
And she went in late in life. She was, if she were alive, she'd kill me for saying this, but I'm sure she was in her 40s when she went in.
Yeah.
And I think she might have fudged a little bit on her age. I'm not sure. My mom was the kind of lady that we had explicit instructions when she passed away. Her birth date with the year was not to go on her headstone or in her obituary. So we were kind of unsure about what her actual age was when she died. But when she passed away, even though she had passed away from cancer, she looked incredibly young. Mm-hmm. And so that was her thing. That was,
she took pride in that.
She took pride in that, and that was her thing. And she's like, nobody needs to know how old I am or any of that stuff.
I tell everybody how old I am because I look young for my age.
You look very young for your age. So Kathy served our country. You have, how many children do you have?
I have 4 children, and my husband had 1, so he was left behind with 5 kids.
After a month after marriage.
Yeah, and we hadn't
husband,
even moved into our house we had built.
And your husband is a veteran also, correct? Paul is a veteran.
But I'm a higher rank. He was enlisted.
And
he was a sergeant.
I hope you bring that up often.
Oh, we
do. I tell you to do? No.
But he's fun. We laugh about it, you know. He's really in charge.
And her husband, Paul, is a great guy. He's also a member of our church. And when we can pry him out, we get him to our Bible study.
Yeah.
It's, he's, but I love him to death. He's a great guy. So.
He's also from Kentucky, like you.
I know.
Louisville.
But see, he's
and
from
like
Louisville.
All the same things.
But see, he went to the University of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are rivals.
I went to the University of Louisville, so we're kind of rivals a little bit, but we love each other, so that's good. So, okay, Kathy, we had you on the show a year ago.
Probably a year ago.
At least a year ago. Yeah.
And your story, you had an abortion.
When I was 19.
When you were 19.
I was in college. And I was about to transfer from the University of Maryland to Harrisburg Hospital School of Nursing. Mm-hmm. And I was living at home, of course, and I really was shook up about this. I mean, I was like, I just can't believe that I'm pregnant, and I wasn't promiscuous. I had I wasn't like I made this sport like they do now about premarital sex. And so I just didn't know what to do. And I confided in my parents and my the father of my children, my future husband. He knew about it, but then I lied to him and told him, I fell off a horse. And
oh, my goodness.
So he never knew about it until later. But I just did what my parents advised. And back then they had therapeutic abortions. My mother was a nurse with 7 kids, and she was like promoting, and Catholic, and promoting an abortion. So anyway.
What was that therapeutic abortions? What is that?
In Maryland. Well, you had to see a psychiatrist, 2 psychiatrists who you would talk to about this situation you're in.
I don't think you told us that last time.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
Yeah, that is.
It was in when was this? I was 19 years old. 70?
Okay.
No,
Wow.
69.
Okay.
Yeah, they had therapeutic abortions in Maryland.
Just so you know, you just put your age on the radio to everybody.
that's
Just
all right.
because there's people out there right now going, okay.
She doesn't care.
No,
She does not look anything like her age.
No,
So
not at all.
if you've ever met Kathy.
So, but that amazes me because, you know, there is probably not one state where you'd go through that now, especially Maryland. Maryland is so liberal. A therapeutic abortion where you had to talk to 2 psychiatrists?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
I guess I was crazy. No.
But so what was the?
I was very upset emotionally, distraught, and
I don't
what
doubt
am
it,
I
yeah.
going to do? I can't go.
Do you
to
think that
nursing
they
school.
did that to help people to have an abortion then?
Sure.
To feel better about it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't really bother me. I was like, because my mother convinced me it was just a little marble. It's not a baby.
And you will, when we come back from our upcoming break, we'll need to explain what happened then after you figured out what the truth was.
Yeah.
We have Kathy McGinnis with us, a former Army officer, a captain, a nurse who served in Desert Storm, a resident of Central Florida, and part of our pro-life team. And she's sharing her story with us again. And we also are just paying homage to our military on this Memorial Day weekend. It's Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday night. Thank you for joining us. When we come back, we're going to tell you about Trump derangement syndrome carried way too far. We'll have those details coming up next. Pro-Life Radio on AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer.
If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio, or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc., and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity and all donations are tax deductible. Thank you.
And welcome back to Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday evening, Memorial Weekend. So with us in the studio, well, first I better say Bruce, my handsome husband, asked for me.
Thank you, dear.
How much will I get this time? No.
Well, we'll talk about that.
And we didn't mention earlier that in the studio is also my sister that is moved here from Montana. But across from me is Kathy McGinnis, a good friend of ours. Mm-hmm. She is a Army veteran. Captain. From
a long line of Army veterans.
Yeah,
that
all
were
Army.
all officers.
And now her grandson.
Graduates from
West Point.
From West Point.
All graduates from West Point. Oh, wow.
Did you go to West Point also?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Very
But
cool.
my grandson did.
Your grandson
Yes.
did. Your grandfather did. Your dad did. Your grandfather did. Your great-grandfather did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And your great-great-great-grandfather or great-great-great-grandfather helped train the swamp fox.
Right.
Which was Francis...
Revolutionary
War, Francis Marion, known
Right.
as the swamp fox.
Oh,
Yes.
very cool.
Who used guerrilla tactics against British forces in South Carolina successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as we talk about veterans, there is another Army veteran that kind of Bruce alluded to earlier as we went to break. A 69-year-old Army veteran in Escondido, California, had a house called the Trump House. He loved Trump and he's a patriot. And he had flags, American flags and Trump flags, as for years. And his neighbor, 32-year-old, beat him up so badly he is in the ICU right now and more than likely is not expected to make it.
Wow.
And that's plain and simple, Trump derangement syndrome.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. Carrie Sharon was the Army veteran is the Army veteran, 69 years old, fighting for his life. And I've seen the pictures, and you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was beat up
so
bad. He's got tubes in and out of his nose and his mouth, and he really is it will be God's blessing if he makes it.
Yeah.
And
how
so prayers for him.
anybody thinks that they have the right to do that to somebody just because they have a flag in their yard.
Well, here's the really sick thing. The guy who assaulted him, 32-year-old Thomas Caleb Butler, is a Navy veteran. Somebody who served this country. Yeah,
they're trying to say that he had PTSD.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. PTSD, TDS, whatever. Why would you think you have the right to beat somebody up simply because they're exercising their right to express themselves?
Especially as a veteran. You know that's what you're living and dying for. That's what Memorial Weekend is all about, and the remembrance of those people that fought and died for us.
Yeah.
And he goes and takes it upon himself to kill somebody, or more than likely. So be praying. Be praying for this man that's...
Pray for the man who's in ICU, but also pray for this other guy, because something's gotten a hold of him, and it's just... Yeah. It's... Wow. So, the show is about pro-life, but it's about all life, because all life matters. And that's so right. While we don't want to see Kerry Sharon, the Army veteran, we don't want to see him die from this. We also are saddened by the fact that this Navy veteran, Thomas Caleb Butler, is so whacked out that he hates Donald Trump so much that he went and just tried to kill his neighbor.
There's a lot of craziness going on. I was showing Bruce and Kathy earlier about a 13-year-old girl in Colorado had written a poem and wanted to read it for a class. Everybody else was writing poems and reading them. Hers was about pro-life, and they refused to let her read that poem. And she's fighting it.
Good.
So it's just
It's like, okay, if you don't want to hear her poem, leave the room.
Or just, do what you do all the time. Just don't pay attention. Is it really that, it's nothing that you're going to have to worry about.
It's probably not the kids in the class that don't want to hear the poem. It's the teacher.
It was the teacher.
Yeah. So there you go. So let's get back to it. Kathy was in the middle of her story.
Yes. That she thought it was just a
little clump of cells, her mom told her. Mm-hmm. And you discovered that wasn't the case.
Right. Well, I went on to nursing school at Harrisburg Hospital. And in the first year, my anatomy and physiology class, they had these, our professor had the embryos from the time of conception, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like in little containers.
Through 9 months, right, in little containers. And I was 11 weeks pregnant when I had my abortion, and I saw the embryo that was fully formed, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So it took 2 years of school there for it to really affect me. And it just snowballed. And I got so disturbed over it. And I wasn't really coping for some reason. I actually had to take a leave of absence from school. And I was asking my psych instructor, nurse instructor, I didn't ask her. I was just telling her, I think I'm really upset over what I did. And she said, oh, no, that's not true. And it was only by, I just didn't pay attention to it. I knew she didn't understand. Well, it was like I knew what was I was experiencing. And the grief that I allowed myself to experience is what healed me. Although I still, it never leaves you.
Yeah.
And it of course there's guilt, but I know Jesus has forgiven me. It doesn't matter. I know I did wrong, and I had I had 4 kids. I couldn't have enough kids, kind of thing. And it just never replaces what's done. So you never, when you get an abortion, it affects you for life.
I read a thing that just earlier today. I think it was from Frank Pavone from Priest for Life. And he said, can you imagine how much psychological damage in the next 10 to 15 years we're going to be seeing from all these women that have had abortions and realize what they've done, just like what you did, Kathy.
You can't escape it.
Well, and it's
unless you're immoral or sociopathic or something.
At some point or another, it's going to wear on you. At some point or another, it will wear on you.
Or you'll realize as you look back.
That's what I'm saying. At some point or another, you'll realize.
Yeah. And my mother was like, "What are you talking about? That's ridiculous," And I didn't. It didn't matter what anybody said. I knew.
It's always possible that your mom didn't know as well.
Could be.
Was your mom a nurse?
Yeah, she was a nurse.
She was a nurse?
And let me tell you, she was another one that had a lot of kids. I mean, she had 7 children and 5 miscarriages. And she's had miscarriages up to 5 months, I think. And so she had to know something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, she was probably trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's a blindness, like we've talked about in the Bible, in especially in the latter days, that people will not see the truth. They'll be blinded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what's going on with abortion. So prevalent.
It is.
Thank God there's a few very strong, like Kelsey Grammer. We were just talking about Kelsey Grammer, that he had a T-shirt on, and it said, would it bother us more if we used guns?
For abortions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it bother us more if we used guns? And then it said abort73.com. I don't know what that site is. I don't know if we went to that and looked.
I did go to the site, and it has a lot of information about abortion on it. Abort73.com.
And that was a shirt that Kelsey Grammer. So I love it when we see the truth from people that are so deceived, usually in that Hollywood
I'll say
world.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
So you forgave your mom?
Oh, yeah. I knew that she just didn't understand. And it was saving face for the family, I'm sure, too, that motivated her. And
that you were only 19.
Yeah. And, the rationale was, well, nuns, they got pregnant and they would be allowed to have an abortion, or the Catholic Church approved of it. So I'm sure the Catholic Church is going to approve of this, even though we never got any permission. I mean, we didn't talk to a priest about this.
So you were a Catholic at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Catholic Church also didn't shed a whole lot of light on the abuse that priests were putting on children either. So.
Right.
Well, and what Kathy just said is huge there. The nuns were getting pregnant. I thought that was the whole point of being a nun. You were celibate.
Yeah. Well, it was like, they got raped, But, I mean, I have 2 brothers that were molested by priests, too, by our parish priest.
Here in Orlando?
Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay, Maryland.
And that was not known, though, at the time of my situation. But it was dealt with at the Catholic Church. Yeah, it's all documented.
We saw a very interesting movie, and this is getting off track here, but I'm going to share this. If you get a chance, look for a movie called Spotlight, and Michael Keaton heads up an all-star cast, and it deals with the molestation that was going on in the Catholic Church. They thought was confined to a parish or 2 in Boston, and come to find out it was a worldwide phenomenon.
Yep.
So check that out. It's called Spotlight. We saw it on Tubi.
I think it was Tubi.
Yeah, it was on
and
Tubi.
Not to bash the Catholic Church, but
no, because it's not just the Catholic Church. It's happening everywhere.
We need to have light on that, and I think that's a great name for it, Spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's something nefarious going on, it needs to come out to the light and be taken out.
Right. All truth will be made known to us.
Yes.
Amen.
Any sin that is done in darkness will see the light of day.
All right.
It will happen. Hey, we got more Pro-Life Radio coming up on a Sunday night, Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back, streaming on theanswerorlando.com. This is Pro-Life Radio on AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer. If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio, or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc., and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity and all donations are tax deductible. Thank you. Welcome back to Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday night, Memorial Day weekend, and we have in the studio my lovely wife, Vicki Cherry.
Thank you, sir.
The world's greatest sister-in-law, Debbie, who will not talk on the air, but she's relocated here from Montana, so we're trying to keep her busy with doing a lot of stuff, and so we drag her along with us to things.
It's like, where are we going this weekend?
Yeah. Well, we're going to go do the radio show. And also we have Captain, and can I refer to you still as Captain?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Captain Kathy McGinnis. Kathy was an Army captain and served in Desert Storm and lives here in Central Florida and is sharing her abortion story with us. This is the second time we've had Kathy on the show, and every time we find out a little bit more, and we found out a little bit more. Before we get into that, though, earlier this week, Operation Rescue and Life Legal Defense Foundation made national news. And what they did was they finally obtained an unredacted autopsy report for a young lady, you may have heard her name, Lexi Arguello, a young girl who died from a catastrophic complication after a late-term abortion at Planned Parenthood in Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, Lexi, they think, is not the only woman to have fallen victim to the Colorado abortion clinics. You see, Colorado had their Amendment 4, and it went through. And what we were afraid of happening here in Florida is happening there because they cannot even inspect the abortion clinics there. The state and the Board of Health cannot inspect the abortion clinics there because they have no legal founding because of that amendment. So what they found out is because of the radical abortion policies within the state, countless injuries and intentional lack of oversight coupled with overly redacted public records by city officials, Operation Rescue spent over a year gaining access to Lexi's unredacted autopsy, a record that law clearly states must be made available to the public without hidden information, but yet they're redacting it. A court order finally forced the Larimer County coroner to release the full record, and mistakes were made.
Well, if you're trying to make money at an abortion clinic, you're trying to cut corners. And so when we do not take the precautions to make sure that these places are operating they need to be clean. I mean, you're doing...
Not to mention the fact that a late-term abortion, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. And that is why we fought so hard to make sure Amendment 4 didn't happen here. But in Colorado, it happened. We know it happened in Montana, your home state. And there's other states that are trying to go down the same path.
Not being honest about the ramifications of what an abortion does, the problems that you'll have after. And so many people have addiction issues, suicide issues.
Higher cancer rates.
Yeah.
And people out there listening might think, how can you have higher cancer rates? A woman's body is meant to reproduce if she becomes pregnant. And if you stop that process or you meddle with that process, you change something, that has ramifications. Ramifications, thank you. Anything we put into our bodies, whether male or female, everything changes us to a certain degree. If you take an aspirin, it changes you to a certain degree, at least for a little while. So everything that we put into our body.
But you're involving hormones, which is a big deal.
Yeah. And so if you stop the process of childbearing prematurely, it can cause increased breast cancer rates, increase ovarian cancer, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, those sorts of things.
And letting these clinics just operate with no supervision, that they're cutting corners.
Oh, sure.
They're trying to make as much money as possible. It's just if a hospital, same thing, People, they don't follow the rules. They want to make more money as fast as they can. And you figure these people, I mean, really, if that's your business, go in and tear apart babies.
So are they
too worried.
destroying the baby before or after the?
Well, it depends.
If it's a partial birth abortion, they try and keep the baby intact as long as they can, which means they try to keep the baby alive as long as they can while they harvest parts from the baby.
Yeah.
So if it's just an abortion, livers, brains, the brains, hearts, lungs, kidneys,
everything.
eyes, they try and get as much as they can out of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look up during the Obama administration. You could look up, and they were selling parts. I mean,
the administration was selling parts,
and it gave prices of how much they could get for each part. And you're like, okay, this is pure evil. If people cannot open their eyes and see that,
people don't want to.
They don't want to, and I think that it is part of the plan of the Bible working its way out. I mean, it said people would become blinded.
Yeah, I mean, it affects the psyche to such a degree that human beings just cannot handle the truth.
No.
It takes time,
especially this vast of an issue. I mean, abortions are so rampant now. You've got every day. I don't know what the number is. Bruce, do you know? I've not heard recently, but it's a high number of how many babies are put to death daily in just the United States.
And well, I know that it was discovered that more babies have died in abortion since Roe v. Wade than all human life has died in war since the founding of America.
Yeah.
Than all humans that have died in war since the founding of America.
Yeah.
So that's like, I mean, it's mind-boggling.
It's huge. And like you said, Kathy, we just can't work that through in our brain.
No, we can't.
When you really realize that's a human being and how many people are killing their own children.
Yeah. But, I think about it, for me to come to the realization when I was 21, about the truth of my abortion, it was actually a blessing, because just think how messed up I would be if I held all that in and never really acknowledged the truth. It's not good for us, but it has to come in stages. I'm sure, but still, we need to be planting seeds and dripping out the truth enough where the public can handle the truth, and just never give up. Just come straight out. And this is wrong. And but that was not the case back when in 1969 you didn't even talk about abortion. It was like a no-no.
And that was before Roe v. Wade.
I think it was one of those things that a lot of people did it undercover because they knew and it wasn't accepted.
Yeah, it wasn't accepted.
It seems that as of November of 2025, they were estimating nearly 3,000 preborn babies died by abortion every day in America. That death toll is likely far greater than that because they were looking at abortions in abortuary clinics, surgical procedure abortions. And now because of the abortion pill, it could be much higher than that.
We are losing people faster than we're gaining people now in our society. There's not as many births as there are deaths.
Yeah.
At some point or another, history is going to look back and say, what happened to these people? America and other places in the world. Because, we have higher rates now of insterility because of abortion in the water. Okay, so those remnants and those hormones are finding their way into our drinking water. And so there are higher rates of men who can't reproduce, higher rates of women who can't reproduce. Then you've got a lot of kids now younger people now, they're like, oh, the planet's overpopulated. I'm not going to have children because who would bring a child into this world. God put us here to procreate.
Right.
To procreate. You need to know that. Procreate meaning have more children, have more babies.
And they're a blessing.
Yeah.
But our society, I think part of it has gotten so selfish. It's all about me. It's all about, I want every dime I make to go to me and the fun I can have. I don't want to have to support a child. But that's really when we grow up, right?
Exactly.
If you look at the way the family is designed, you get older, you get married, then you're responsible for your spouse kind of thing. And then you have kids and you're responsible for them. And that makes us less.
I have to say, my life is infinitely better now that I've had children than before when I was single and just living my life and partying and going to the
Bruce
bars
told me
and
a while back, he goes, I wish we would have met when I was 24. And he goes, you probably wouldn't have liked me when I was 24. I said, why? What's wrong? And he goes, I didn't care about anybody but myself. My career, my job, my everything.
Yeah. And honestly, I can say my life is so much better now that I've got children, we've got grandchildren. Although there is a point I think about when my kids were teens that
What was that famous Christian guy? He would say when they become 16, you do this, this, and this. When they're 16, put them in a big barrel with an eye peephole, and that's it. Right.
Look out. Send some food in every now and then, that sort of thing. Hey, we've got another break coming up, and we will have our final segment. This goes by so fast.
It does.
We'll have our final segment of the night. It's Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for joining us. God bless. We'll be right back on AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer.
If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio, or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc., and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity, and all donations are tax deductible. Thank you.
And welcome back to Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday evening, Memorial Weekend. In the studio, I'm Vicki Cherry, and my handsome husband, Bruce, is across from me.
And thank you to all the veterans out there who are listening to the show, and those who aren't listening to the show. Thank you. Because our freedom exists because, well, God gave us the freedom, but you guys protect it, and we thank you for that. And we thank our guest, who is Captain Kathy McGinnis, nurse, and served in Desert Storm, and comes from a line of fine Army officers.
All right.
Your grandson, who just graduated from West Point.
West Point.
And can you say his name?
Yeah, Brandon McDermott.
Brandon McDermott. And he is now a lieutenant?
He's a second lieutenant.
Second lieutenant.
They graduate as second lieutenants.
Okay.
So
I remember when you and Paul went up for his graduation.
Yeah.
I remember we met him, actually. You brought him to church one Sunday.
Right.
And what a fine young man.
Yeah.
Fine young man.
And he was just baptized about a month ago.
Oh, wow.
And he wants to actually be a chaplain, but that'll have to come later.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Well, God bless him. And so your family, I mean, going back a couple of 100 years,
Yeah.
you guys have all been Army officers.
Right. And, when the Jervies first came over in the 1700s, they came to Charleston, South Carolina, and that's where all the activity has been, even with the Revolutionary War, with the swamp fox, and our ancestor who trained the swamp fox, Francis. What's his name?
Francis, and I closed that window.
Shoot. Anyway.
Oh, I'll get it back.
My son did all this
fox.
research.
Yeah.
I knew about it growing up, but not the detail that my son got going. And he's so...
Francis Marion.
Yeah, Francis. What did I say? Francis?
You said Francis,
but
okay. We didn't have the last
Marion,
name. Francis
yeah.
Marion, yeah.
So when I decided to join the Army, my dad That was back in 1988, I think. And my dad said, "Whatever possessed you to join the Army?"
As your dad stood there in a military uniform looking at you.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
right.
Yeah.
And because, I had 4 kids and I was, basically single. And I said, it's got to be in the genes, the family genes. And I had not met anyone, any nurses that had joined the Army for the reasons that I did, which was just strictly patriotic. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm sure there were some nurses, but I didn't meet them. So that's what was the driving force for me. And I remember sending home a letter during Desert Storm, quoting President John F. Kennedy. Mm-hmm. It's not what your country can do for you, but it's what
you can do for your country.
Amen.
And that's what was the driving force for me. Mm-hmm. So
even though you had to go a month up. And there is an article that Kathy showed us. She brought her wedding book, and I wish you guys could see, but in it is a picture of their wedding, and a month later she was called to duty. So she did mention earlier that her new husband had to take on 5 kids.
Yeah, his own daughter and my 4 kids. But he was proud to do that. He always wanted a bunch of kids, but he just kind of was thrown at him. It was even on our honeymoon, we knew something was happening. Something was coming. Yeah, I even called my chief nurse to find out, are we going to be called up? Oh, not so far. Well, came back after our honeymoon and it's, oh no, it'll be fine. Then the week later we were called up. I was actually called up 2 weeks after, but we didn't leave until the 27th of August. From the 4th. We were married the 4th. And,
the 4th of July?
No, the 4th of August.
Oh, 4th of August. Okay, I'm sorry.
And August 26th, actually, is when we left.
How much notice did they give you?
A couple of weeks. But we didn't know from day to day. We had to be prepared immediately, 24-hour notice, basically.
We're talking with Captain Kathy McGinnis, a nurse, a mom, a Christian, a member of our pro-life team, and a woman who had undergone an abortion procedure at the age of 19, and now takes a very strong stance for pro-life, and we thank her for that. And thanks for being here with us and sharing your story. Mm-hmm. And I interrupted you, and I apologize.
No, it's fine. Keep on. But like I said earlier, you can never forget, or what you've gone through with an abortion. The grieving is so important to go through if you've had an abortion. It is very healing, but you never really get completely healed. I mean, it's like you experience a death. Just no 2 ways about it. Mm-hmm. And anybody that is contemplating an abortion, I warn them. I do everything I can. Although I feel like I really do need to stand by these abortion clinics and speak to these young girls.
We'll set it up.
Yeah, it's time.
We'll have you come join us. We do that.
We do that, and we've been talking about our team last meeting we had about doing that.
I know,
at least once a month,
on a more regular basis. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least once a month, because it's that last. I know Michelle from Pro-Life Action Ministries. That is their ministry, and that they feel like that's their last-ditch effort,
right,
to save that mother and her child.
And at their banquet a couple of weeks ago, they had they had a few moms there, but one of the moms they had there, they had talked to outside a clinic. She had come out, was in tears. She didn't speak English, and fortunately, they had someone there that did speak Creole. I think it was Creole or Haitian. And so they spoke with her and translated, and they got her to go next door to the women's to the Choices Women's
Life
Choices Women's Clinic. And she came out, she thanked them, and she kept her baby. Yeah. And she was there the other night on stage with
Bruce
the baby.
Was worried she threw the baby up in the air. Bruce was like, "Oh, don't do that." How bad would that have been? Huh?
Yeah,
my goodness. And just a darling baby. And it was just a great testament. A great testament. We're getting low on time. I want to give honor to your lineage. Your father, who was he was an Army general?
No, my father was he retired when he was a colonel.
Colonel, okay.
And his father retired when he was a colonel too, and went to
West Point?
West Point.
Went to West Point, yeah.
Went to West Point, and his father went to West Point. And that is Henry Jervey, my great-grandfather.
Okay.
Who received, I was showing you the...
He got a medal, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff on him. Mm-hmm. You just look up Henry Jervey.
How do you spell the last name?
Jerbey.
Okay, so that's your maiden name, yeah. Jervey. Okay.
And he would spend endless hours. I mean, he wouldn't go home till midnight. He worked so hard in the War Department during World War One, and he just never would stop working to mobilize the troops for overseas. And so I was going to read this from the article.
Well, you go ahead and find that. And while you're finding that, another actress is coming out too for abortion, which is awesome.
For abortion?
I mean, for life. I'm sorry.
Okay.
For life.
Okay.
Kathy Ireland.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, well, that's pretty great too. If we can get more of those people, we can.
We've got to change hearts and minds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you've got this generation, you've got the Taylor Swifts of the world telling, women it's their right, young girls, and they pattern their lives after these people. And so they think, oh, well, Taylor Swift says it's okay. It must be okay.
Here's what Kathy Ireland said. It was science that led me to understand that life begins at the moment of conception, and it is a human being at the moment of conception. I think once you know the truth and you know a human being's life is in danger, nothing else matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you find what you were looking for?
So after General Jervey's death, General Peyton C. March, Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, during the greater part of the First World War, wrote this: Henry Jervey was not only my classmate, but in later years, my warm personal friend. When I returned from France in 1918 to become Chief of Staff of the Army, I found him serving on the General Staff. I made many changes in personnel, but Jervey stayed and became more and more valuable. As Chief of Operations, he had work of the most important character to do, and in spite of some physical weaknesses, he never missed a day, and the days lasted till midnight. Every day, including Sunday. He had an unusually good mind, a wonderfully devotion to duty, and gave all he had every day, all day. My classmate friendship warmed into a rare affection for one of the finest characters as well as one of the ablest officers with whom it was my good fortune to serve.
Wow.
And he was so modest he never received the public notice his work deserved, and he passed on respected by all who knew him.
Wow.
Amen.
So you come from a fine line of tradition of patriots who serve this country, and for that we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for appreciating the lineage.
Well, we appreciate the lineage, and it shows because you are a caring, giving, generous person. Oh. And we love you. Thank you very much.
Yes, we do.
Thanks.
Well, that's going to do it.
And
for
your
this.
cooking.
And your cooking is great, yes.
So if you want to come to a Bible study, we have a Bible study with great dinner.
Yeah.
Monday nights.
Yes. Hey, that's
Except for
this Monday night.
Yes.
No, because we're taking a break for Memorial Day. Hey, that's going to do it for Pro Life Radio on a Sunday night. Thank you to Dave DeRica in the control room there, our producer. Thank you to the world's greatest sister-in-law for being our live in-studio audience. Debbie, thank you.
We could have her hoot and holler next time.
There you go. To my lovely wife, Vicki Cherry, I'm Bruce Cherry saying thank you. Please help us keep this ministry funded and on the air. Details are coming up for that. We're here on AM 950, FM 94.9. The Answer. We'll see you again next week. Good night. God bless. If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio, or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc., and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity and all donations are tax deductible. Thank you.
You've been listening to Pro-Life Radio, a strong voice for the unborn in Florida, with Vicki and Bruce Cherry. Connect with Vicki and Bruce online at proliferadio.com and join us again next week at this very same time for Pro-Life Radio. Pro-Life Radio is a pre-recorded show.